Alright guys, welcome back to another one. In today's video, I want to talk about something quite interesting that people are just not happy about at the moment to do with the PlayStation Classics catalog, to do with a game that was added to the catalog this month. This is a game that people have been waiting quite a long time for. It's got a pretty big cult following. That would be Dino Crisis. It was announced that it was getting a re-release on PlayStation 4 and 5 during the September State of Play, and a lot of people were happy. For a long time, people have wanted either a re-release or, more specifically, a remaster or remake of this game. It's a classic Capcom title, and since Capcom over the past few years have been jumping into the remake thing to do with Resident Evil, and this has been a really successful venture for them. At the moment, from my understanding, one of the most requested remakes for Capcom to do is Dino Crisis. For the time being though, a lot of people were happy to see that Dino Crisis was getting added to the Classics catalog, so that people can now play the classic PlayStation 1 game on their PlayStation 4 or 5. And also the thought of trophy support for one of your favorite cult classic PlayStation 1 games is exciting. This is one of the most exciting aspects of getting these classic PlayStation 1 and PlayStation 2 games re-released onto these modern systems, the trophy support, to get a platinum for those classics. However, there's a major problem here with the release of Dino Crisis. It may start to point towards an even bigger problem going forward. There is no way to purchase Dino Crisis by itself. You absolutely must be subscribed to the highest tier of PlayStation Plus, which is Deluxe, and there's also no trophy support. Whenever a classic title gets released each month, there is always an option to purchase the game by itself. This is usually, I believe, for like 10 USD. For me, it's generally about like $15, $16. It's not guaranteed too that there's always going to be trophy support, but for about 80% of the classics that get added each month, there's usually always trophy support. Now, the thing with trophy support is it's up to the developers of the original classic that is getting added to the service to go out of their way to create trophies for the game. The same thing ended up happening with Resident Evil Director's Cut. It was added into the Classics catalog. However, there was no trophy support, and along with that, no option to buy it by itself. I believe these are the only two games on the service that are locked behind a subscription paywall. The other problem here that people are not happy about is for those who own Dino Crisis on PlayStation 3 via the PlayStation Store, there is still no way of being able to download it for free. Essentially, if you already owned the PlayStation Store version of a PlayStation 1 Classic that is now since been added to the modern PlayStation Store Classics catalog, then you get the game for free. PlayStation started to get back into the swing of doing classics, which they've been honestly doing a really good job for the past year. Every single month, we're getting classics from PlayStation 2 era, PlayStation 1, or PSP, and a lot of them have been bangers. A lot of them are coming through with trophy support, and almost all of them can be purchased without the need of PlayStation Plus. But there was one game that launched with the revival of the classics that, again, was locked behind the PlayStation Plus paywall, and that was Tekken 2. A lot of people complained about this because they wanted the option to just buy the game. They don't want to have to sign up to some monthly subscription service in order to play one game. And because of the outcry towards this, eventually, a few months after Tekken 2's release, PlayStation made it so that you could buy it individually. I'm hoping the same thing will happen for the likes of Resident Evil as well as Dino Crisis, but who really knows? This seems to only currently be a thing from Capcom, and that's the interesting thing. This seems more like a Capcom thing rather than a PlayStation thing. Because if PlayStation were truly starting to quietly introduce exclusive games that can only be played via PlayStation Plus, that have started to do this with some of the classics that they own themselves. But for all of those first-party PlayStation classics that are a part of the PlayStation catalog, they can all be purchased by themselves. And no trophy support for these Capcom classics, that is a Capcom-related issue. Now, this started to make me think about what if these services started to introduce exclusive games or early access to games via subscribing to the subscription service? So you can only play said game if you're subscribed, or you can access this game 3 to 5 days early if you're subscribed to the service. The big thing here in gaming is ongoing services, whether it be live service games or subscription models. Because this is the big money generator in modern times, being able to constantly generate money from the consumer on a monthly basis is going to turn over more revenue than the odd person making a one-time purchase every few months that, yes, is significantly more than the cost of a monthly subscription. But if you think, if one person is subscribed to a subscription for 2 years versus that person only buying 2 fully priced games over the course of 2 years, right there, the company has made more from the person on the subscription service than they have from the consumer that is buying singular games. This is why subscriptions and live service games are the current focus of the games industry, which I know a lot of people are starting to wear thin on. People always need a reason to invest their money into something, and if there is a game that they enjoy enough, that could be the sole reason why they end up signing up to a specific subscription service. I don't want to say that PlayStation are testing the waters here with Dino Crisis. I mean, no doubt PlayStation know that Dino Crisis has a cult following, but I do stand by the fact that this is likely to be a Capcom thing. Now, why it would be a Capcom thing and why Capcom would request for this to be tied to a subscription service and not an individual purchase, because you would only assume that they would be receiving more money if people were purchasing the game rather than it being tied to Sony's subscription service. Maybe there's a contract or something there where they're getting more money with making their classic games exclusive to PlayStation Plus rather than an individual purchase. But the entire situation is weird, and I only hope that going forward, this is not something that grows bigger in the sense of exclusive games, exclusive access. I'm not a PlayStation Plus subscriber. I try to have as little subscription payments as possible. In fact, I only have one, and that's Netflix. It's literally just Netflix. I like to purchase my games. Even digital, I'm like, ooh, I don't really like to. If I have a physical option, I'll always grab physical. But for these classics, yeah, I want to be able to purchase them so they're there in my game library. That being said, the classics movement for this year from Sony has just been so good. A lot of games that people have wanted for an incredibly long time, like the return of Sly, which is insane. No doubt we're getting Sly 2 and Sly 3 sometime in the near future, but PlayStation kind of gave up on this for a while, and they've come back incredibly strong. A lot of people are also speculating that some of the classic God of Wars might be coming back, as the icon for PlayStation Classics has mysteriously changed to Classic Kratos. The older God of War games can be played via cloud, so that might be why he's there, but maybe this is hinting towards those classic God of War games finally, after so long, coming to the Classic service. Either way, each month is just an exciting time to see what 3 classics get added to the PlayStation Store. But yeah, definitely some concerning news. I'd love to know what you guys think about this. Be sure to leave your thoughts in the comment section down below. However, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Be sure to subscribe to the channel. Check out my other garbage social media platforms. A big thank you to my wonderful Turkey-tastic patrons. I hope you're all having a fantastic day, and we'll talk real soon.